For the television talk show Issues here on the grounds of Jackson, Mississippi, at the Capitol. From the Capitol to the Golden Triangle area in Columbus, Mississippi. I'm your host and executive producer, Rick Mason, along with my wife, Aisha Jefferson Mason. More to come. Check us out each and every Saturday morning on the all-new WLOB CW at 5:30 a.m. and Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on My Mississippi, where we're bringing you informative news and so much more to come. For the television talk show Issues.
Television talk show Issues here at Community Counseling Services. We want to call it CCS. And we're here with two individuals that work hands on hands dealing with different obstacles day to day with suicide. And it's Suicide Awareness Month. And we're going to talk to them and get educated about what's going on in and around our community, dealing with people's loved ones, dealing with people who are lost with not knowing what they're dealing with, but they have the information and the education to inform us about what's going on. I'm your host and executive producer, Rick Mason, along with my wife, Aisha Jefferson Mason. We're on in 4 states, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas. Email the show at issuestalkshow@gmail.com. And we have more to come here. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello, those are mics. Y'all can hold them up.
Hello.
Okay.
How y'all doing out there?
All right. So first of all, give them your name, sir.
Yes, my name is Ron DeLorch, and I've been working with community counseling approximately 25 years. And I'm like the crisis supervisor in this region. And we cover 7 counties. We cover Lowndes County, we cover Clay County, we cover Knoxville County, we cover West Point, we cover Starkville, Ackerman, Eupora, and we also cover Whistling County.
Good morning. I'm Sheila Bush, and I'm the MCERT coordinator. I also have the title of CIT coordinator as well. Mr. Ron is my supervisor, and I also cover all 7 counties as well.
Okay. All right. So today we're talking about suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a sickness or a disease? Which one do you want to call it?
I would say it is. I don't know if I would say it's a sickness or a disease.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a situation based on what people are experiencing, but it can be increased by sicknesses. Okay. You know, whether it's a mental illness or a physical illness. Sometimes it could be triggers for individuals to feel that way. Even circumstances in life could cause individuals to experience some symptoms.
Dealing with today, I mean, how do you think this sets with just people not knowing that they're about to take that step? What are some of the signs to say, hey, I might be dealing with?
Some of the signs are clear. Some of the signs are not clear. There are situations where you have people that might say, I want to kill myself, or I want to commit suicide. They might say that I feel lonely. I don't have a reason to live. And then other times there are just invitations, is what we call them in our assist class, that people may put out there. They may put, we use social media for a lot nowadays. And so people may use songs, or they may use different scriptures or different terminology to communicate what they're feeling. Emojis is a big thing. Sometimes when you see people who are always happy, I'm alarmed by them putting up a lot of information that may display sadness. And I'd rather be safe than sorry. So a lot of times I might see that as an invitation to support them.
Okay.
And sometimes, when we talk about suicide awareness is not just about recognizing crisis. Suicide awareness is also about creating a culture that's going to save lives before something happens. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is the culture that we try to provide for these individuals. We try to provide people that's going to be non-judgmental. We going to be very supportive. And we want these individuals to feel safe. They're talking about their issues. A lot of the communities that we go into right now, a lot of them are built off of trauma. Mm-hmm. And so we as service providers, when we go into these communities, we have to be very respectful. We have to be very humble. We have to be very sensitive and understanding to the situation that these individuals are dealing with. And so right now, I just really want to point out, three things that our community should know about these suicide awareness. First of all, you know, we want to talk about early intervention saves lives.
Okay.
Early intervention saves lives. And what I mean by that, and we're going to talk about the warning signs later, but what I mean about that is that as soon as you can recognize signs and symptoms that an individual is not thinking clearly or something is going on with that individual, we can automatically get that individual some help before they hit that breaking point. So that's the goal, is to get them the help and the support that they need before we hit that breaking point.
Right.
Another thing I think our community should understand, we want these individuals to feel comfortable talking about what's going on with them. And going into these communities, a lot of these individuals are already dealing with a lot of trauma, and they don't really want to talk. They don't want to add that next stripe to saying something is wrong with me mentally. That stigma. So we want them to feel comfortable talking about their mental wellness to us, just like they go into their general practitioner, talking about their diabetes,
Right.
talking about their heart issues.
In other words, don't be afraid to let someone know what you may be dealing with before it's too late.
Exactly. And another point that I want to talk about is that a lot of times people don't want to talk about suicide. And once you mention suicide, they start panicking. But a lot of times that's that invitation. Everybody that calls the crisis line or talk about suicide, they're not really talking about dying.
Right.
They're just in a lot of pain. They really just want that pain to stop. So that's what get that pain. They want us to help them, want us to listen to them, and at the same time provide hope and help.
Okay.
Because you guys do have a suicide hotline. Is it 988? What number do you dial for that situation?
Well, we do work in partnership with 988,
crisis,
but we also have a 1-800 number, which is 1-866-866-6605.
If you don't mind.
That number is 1-866-866-6605.
Okay.
And that will get you to our crisis line. But we do have a lot of calls that are transferred from 988 directly to the crisis line.
So, and you guys are certified and educated to be able to talk someone through it over the phone, or how does that work sometimes?
Yes, sir. We do. We have certified therapists that could assist that individual online with that crisis. Just in this last 2 weeks, we've had about 4 or 5 calls that started on the phone, but we were able to go out to that person. It was safe enough for us to go out to that person for situations that we felt that could have been possibly a dangerous situation. We have CIT officers, and those are
the ones that work with the police.
Training. That's right. We actually do the CIT training here at Community Counseling for all 7 counties.
But why the county don't have those officers? The sheriff department don't have that, because I've been in a situation where I've interviewed guests on the show that had a situation in the county with dealing with their son being mental and having a crisis, a breakdown, and they called the sheriff department out, and they said they can't.
And that's here in Lowndes County?
Yes.
They actually do have 2 officers. Yes, they do.
It must have just happened.
I want to say probably in the last 60 days for sure, because I've
I know what I'm
actually,
talking about.
listen, but I've actually had one officer to call me for support, because we work hand in hand
Yeah, because
with
again,
them.
we had a situation like that, and they, it was like, so what do I do? That's what the parent was saying. If they couldn't help them at the time, what do we do? So sometimes your hands are tied.
Well, what they can do, they can definitely call 988, and if they can't remember the 1-800 number to the crisis line, 988
They
could
come out to remove the actual individual out of the setting.
I think it depends on the situation.
That's what I'm
I think
saying.
it depends on, now if the individual presents an imminent risk to themselves or anyone else, that individual will be removed.
Yeah.
Right? But the individual has rights as well.
Okay.
So if it's not an imminent risk, then their family member will have to go through the pre-affidavit process.
Well,
and
that's good that the sheriff department and the city of Columbus Police Department has those tools.
Well, isn't there a certain time that all law enforcement?
Yeah, by 2030, every officer will be trained. Mm-hmm.
Sheriff and police department.
That's great. That's good.
And I will say, I don't know what was going on a couple months ago, but now we do have our officers on board. Like I just mentioned, yeah.
And, I conversed with the officer and everything, and again, the mother explained what the situation was because they had been out to the home plethora of times.
Right.
And it was in the county, and it got to be, hey, what do we do? I'm scared. I don't, and again, that situation.
Well, the good news is I think they have 2 now, and I'm supposed to have at least 2 or 3 in my class in October.
Right. Sheila is a trainer. She's a teacher, CIT trainer.
And tell them what CIT stands for.
It's a crisis intervention team, and basically it's law enforcement getting trained to recognize signs and symptoms as well as mental illness. So individuals are getting the immediate support that they need, as opposed to them going to jail and then we're being called to assess them there. We're trying to alleviate any possible additional trauma.
What about the rescue firefighters? Are they certified in that? Would they be ones?
I don't know. I don't know if they've started with the fire department right now, but a lot of people.
It make a little sense.
It does.
The first ones on the scene when there's something happens.
It does, but right now my thing is if we can get all law enforcement, then we coming for them next, and the school as well.
And most of the time, we have mobile crisis response.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we have mobile crisis responding too. So once we get there, we really takes over.
Hey, we'll be back in just a moment after these television commercial breaks here for Issues Television Talk Show. Again, I'm your host, Rick Mason, along with my wife, Aisha Jefferson Mason. We're in 4 states, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas. Stick and stay, 662-386-6064. We'll be back in just a moment for the Television Talk Show, Issues.
Hi, this is Rock Rax. We will be back in just a moment for Issues Television Talk Show after these commercial breaks.
And we're back to the Television Talk Show, Issues, live on the scene here at Community Counseling, sitting with 2 administrators that really are boots on the ground in dealing with suicidal moments and educating the community on what to do when you're in a situation. And he just said suicide is not just about bringing awareness to what's going on when Suicide Month takes place. Can you reiterate on the importance of this actual month itself?
Yes, it's about suicide awareness. It's about building a culture that's going to save lives before something happens, before a crisis happens. That's our objective, is to save lives before something happens. Get in and intervene and recognize the signs and symptoms before something happens.
Yeah, that's interesting. And to move forward, what are some of the worst situations you guys have experienced in this field? And what I mean by that, it was a minute decision you had to think right then. I mean, how do you guys work under pressure when something is like boom?
Everything that comes through the crisis line is immediate for me. So it's a crisis until it's not a crisis anymore. So we respond to every situation. It's the same urgency. Of course, once we talk to individual, maybe a person may need outpatient therapy. And of course, so that we adjust that time, the time response, because that person don't need immediate, but we respond to everything with urgency. But with suicide calls, typically we go out and we respond to the individuals. We talk to them first because, it's important to build rapport with individuals. So we talk to them on the line, and we also use a framework that we determine if it's if it's a high guidance, mid guidance, or low guidance. High guidance situation would be this person is actively suicidal. They have a plan. They have a gun. Law enforcement, which would be more so CIT officers, would get involved. But if that person is contemplating suicide, because thinking about suicide is not abnormal. anybody. That could be a situation for anybody depending on what they're going through. So if it's a medium guidance, then what we try to do then is understand what their plan is, and if we can disarm that plan, we do. We've had a crisis before where a young lady, she failed her final. She couldn't get in the doctoral program. She was feeling suicidal. She had a gun. We were able to disarm it over the phone. She locked her gun up. I met her at Baptist Hospital because everybody got to stay safe. We don't want to go. Yes. So we stayed on the phone with her the entire time, and 988 do that as well. If we are in the process of coming to an individual's home, 988 stays on the phone, or MCERT stays on the phone with that individual. So we may have one person on the phone and 3 people headed to the site, along with law enforcement. So we've been successful in that. And a lot of times when it's mid guidance, we try to make sure that person know that they're getting the support they need, but we're not rushing them. We've already understand what the situation is. We're just kind of navigating them through the process. So after we disarm it, we try to learn, if that person if there are any drugs involved. Is that person, do they have any mental health, providers that they're seeing? Do they have any doctors? What their natural supports look like? Because we have a case manager that's already, so when we get to her, we already have an ideal plan laid out for her.
Yes.
Only thing we need her to do is confirm the plan because it's her plan and not ours. So we have a therapist, a peer support person, and we also have a case manager too that shows up at the hospital. And so we are there from triage where they go through blood work until they take them across to the behavior center. And so we're there the whole time.
Man, we're being informed here for community counseling services, sitting with 2 great people. And one question, the age group gap. You guys deal with more younger people dealing with suicide, because a lot of kids get bullied sometimes, and then they get in a situation where they want to do something to themselves and feel like they're not worthy, or urging more older people.
Unfortunately, all ages. In my experience, all ages. All ages. We've even got calls from the school of 10-year-olds. All ages.
So do y'all handle the situation the same with the age group?
We do. We go out to the school.
You know what I'm saying? So are the steps the same dealing with young enough?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, but like we say, we try to look at the situation case by case. We look at the case by case, and if it's a school, we're not as aggressive as we are when we know someone, an adult with a gun.
This is very educational today, and I hope someone is actually understanding and listening, to what's going on in society today. And the world is changing every second, every moment.
And so one thing too, we want to point out that we are trying to get these resources in the community. We have 2 meetings a month. We call one, the acronym is MAP Team meeting.
Okay.
And it's the first Thursday of each month.
Okay.
At 11 o'clock, we provide lunch. And
y'all do it here in the Columbus office?
Yes. Well, we go all around. Each county has one, but Columbus has their 2. And Columbus is the first Thursday of each month. And what it is you're coming around the table, making a plan. That's what MAP stands for. Talking about what we can do to help individuals.
Make things better.
Make things better. And another thing too, we got a coalition action committee. Okay. And what that is that we have events every quarter, but we're the environments that we provide the most services. We try to put on an event in that environment to get resources out, so that the individuals in these communities can know where to go when you need help.
Put a pin right there. What you guys need to start doing, because I do a lot of work with the community counseling services. Send me the information so that I can put it out there where it needs to be, in the right areas, in the right sections of the neighborhoods where it's most needed.
Right.
Reach out to me. Send me the information.
Yes, sir.
So that we can put it out there with radio, TV, social media, whatever the case may be.
Right.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah. So this is positive information, and it's critical information.
It is.
That people was not aware of this, what you guys got going. I promise you they don't. And you could be doing it to an extent and thinking that's enough, but you have to hit all areas, all boundaries, so that we can say, hey, we did everything that we can do to make sure everybody's here.
That's right.
Not just doing, oh, we did this. No, do it all. Because this information needs to be put out there. And people need to know about what community counseling services offer.
Right. Well, you'll be happy to know that the CAC is partnering with Kappa Psi to put on it's a health fair for men.
Okay.
So that's going to be important because a lot of men don't have the resources and may not have insurance, but this is a free health fair that's being put on in the community.
We, as men, we really frown on going to the doctor. My wife was just telling me this morning, hey, be sure to make your appointment, you know, for your checkup, you know, and it's time for the colonoscopy.
Yes.
So my God, you know,
Yeah.
you know, so it's just so many important things that we have as men, black men, African American men, to need to know this information
I agree.
about what you guys are giving out and sharing with people. What are some of the other things under this umbrella that you guys handle here with community counseling services?
We have what we call the court liaisons. When individuals they're having breakdowns and family members don't know what to do. They used to have to go up to the chancellor clerk office. Now you start the process right here at community counseling, and you come in and fill out an application. And once you fill that application out, we take it from there. And so, and if it's fees, we will let you know what to do if you can't afford to pay for it. We also we teach Sheila. She teaches assist classes. We have mental health,
First aid.
And then you guys have drug programs too for people who are like what is it, the Katie Hills?
Pines and Katie Hills, yeah.
And one's for the men, and one for the women.
Right. Pines is for the men. Katie Hills are for the ladies.
Okay.
What else we got?
I think we talked about
We got
most of it. We have the CIT, which we talked about. That's a week-long mental health training, 40-hour training with law enforcement, and they graduate on that Friday. Where we teach them about different de-escalation techniques as well as about different illnesses, so that they can kind of get an idea of what a person may be experiencing.
Man,
So let's talk about you.
I do. Well, and he mentioned ASSIST. So ASSIST is a class that we put on. It's applied suicide intervention training. And we usually have one class a quarter. And typically individuals take this class and we they learn about suicide signs and symptoms and how to engage. This is one of the quick tools when they graduate that we give them. And we talk about invitations. Again, we mentioned about how it can be a certain action that a person is displaying, or feelings or words, in addition to maybe their
each balloon is
each balloon could be indicated factors.
On there?
This is about action. So maybe what a person is, some behaviors they may be displaying, maybe aggression, maybe anger, maybe isolation, wanting to be alone. That could be some actions that they displaying. Feelings could be anger as well. You know, they could, talk about being lonely, talk about being a burden to other people. So we just kind of use the balloon as just an idea, bullet points of what you can expect for these situations. But what I find to be the most successful part of the training is the pathway to assist in life. Here we teach our participants how to connect with the individual. We talked about exploring the invitation. So if you see somebody that's putting information up online about suicide, asking that person, that's exploring it. If you're wrong, that's great. But if you're right, then you can start helping that person to connecting with life. And then the second phase we focus on is understanding. So building a rapport with that person, hearing their story, and if they're uncertain about whether they want to live, trying to find a turning point for that person. What's that connection to life? I work with a lot of people. It's like, I'm feeling suicidal, but I can't leave my mom. Yeah. That mom might be a turning point for that individual. And then so once we move into those states. So when I talked about the connecting with life, that person and you agree that the focus is suicide. Man. And then once they move over to the understanding choices, then you and that person is focusing on staying safe. For now, we talk a lot about staying safer now. Because my thing, if I can get you to stay safer now, it's possible I can get you to stay safe forever, you know, or at least through whatever situation it is you're going through. And then the assisting life. This is where we help that person develop a plan. When you feel in this way, who can you call? Where can you go? CCS. And then after we get that person, and they create the plan. They create the plan for themselves.
Interesting.
And the biggest thing about that, you do not have to be a professional. That's just for everyday people.
Yeah, because we get licensed. We go through a week-long training through Living Works. And that's who we get our certification through, and we get to learn all of these things to come back and provide to the community. And we spoke earlier too about the framework, we call it safety framework, when to act. Here, you see a person that's trying to harm themselves immediately. We got to take high guidance, high action. We got to get law enforcement. We got to get boots on the ground as soon as possible. Right then. But then here, we have this situation where maybe this person is contemplating it. Maybe they have a plan, maybe they don't. But we're exploring if they have a plan, and if we're able to disarm it, then that's great. And then we're learning about their background. Have they had prior suicidal attempts before? Because people who have had prior suicide attempts are at higher risk.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
And so if we have any mental health concerns as well, and then so forth, just trying to connect them with support, whether it's their doctor, it's their mental health provider, and trying to learn what their natural supports are, because everybody don't have a support team. But when you connect with CCS and you connect with the MCERT team, you have a support team.
Yes, man. Great sit down, great interview, but I would be remiss if I didn't say something about the executive director, CEO, Ray Field Evans Jr. of Community Council. Y'all know him, though.
Yes, sir.
Y'all got scared when I said
No. I'm like, keep talking.
Yeah, that's my pastor as well, but blessings to him, and he's a humble gentleman, and to work for him, it must be like no other, because he's just he's just so humble and
and supportive,
and want to fix the situation, the situation, man. More to come. Any final remarks I would like to leave out there with anyone who might be dealing with suicidal moments?
Well, the thing about it is, if you're dealing with it, if you don't know anything, just call Community Counseling 662-328-9225.
Okay.
I would just want to just say that it's real. It's certainly real. Based on statistics out there, we haven't really had a lot done, but since 2022, but it's about 16 deaths reported of every 100,000 people. It don't sound like a lot, but that's a lot of people. And during COVID, Mississippi, there was about 480 confirmed deaths. And then when we look at the Golden Triangle, you had about 116 in Lowndes County that were confirmed. You had about 58 in Octavia Hall County that was confirmed in that year. You had about 41 in Clay County that was confirmed. That's almost 300 people. That was confirmed. And these are ones that were confirmed. There are other suicides that are occurring in our community that we may not know, that may be due to medical issues. We have individuals that are struggling with mental illness that don't take their medicines and things like that, which increases their risk for suicide. So help is available. We are here to help you. Mr. Ron has already given you that number. You can also call 988 or the crisis number, and we can support you.
And I tell you, we got more to come with the Issues Television Talk Show. It's been a great sit down again. I'm your host and executive producer, Rick Mason, along with my wife, Aisha Jefferson Mason. Check us out on the all new WLOB CW. Set your DVR, should I say, at 5:30 a.m. Sunday nights, 10 p.m. on My Mississippi. Well, we're trying to bring awareness to our community, giving you a voice that you can use and be heard in this type of platform. We got more to come. Check us out inside the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, Monday through Friday, for the hottest 2 minutes in radio. We'll give you updates for HBCDU Update Sports on Mondays, Tuesday, Terrific Tuesdays, Wednesdays, updates with the District Attorney's Office, Scott Cologne. And on Thursday, we do Therapy Thursdays with Dr. Armando Adams from Redemption Fire. And of course, on Fridays, Entertainment Friday. Get ready, the 7th Avenue Heritage Festival is coming up October 3rd and 4th. Big weekend. Vendors, they're giving away free space, taking you back to the Black Wall Street era. Give them a call now, 662-400-0873, or either go by Helen's Kitchen to get your application. Free booth space featuring Black Wall Street, bringing it back to the hood, should they say. It's the biggest free block party, rated the top 20 event in the state of Mississippi. We got more to come here for the television talk show Issues. And can I get you guys looking at camera and say issues?
Issues.
Can I get you guys to say the morning kickback?
The morning kickback.
We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Catch me on the stage or a community near you. It's the television talk show Issues.